Hey guys, welcome to Podcast versus Player. Today we're going to be talking about Captain America Civil War, following on our Ultron discussion, where we didn't actually talk about Ultron.
Not much.
But it was good nonetheless.
It was fun. I like the film. Go and watch it.
Yes, we're not going to talk about that though.
No, that was literally I was just going to say, but that's all we're going to talk about Ultron
that's
this
it, it's
time.
done now, get over it.
Yeah. How long do you reckon it's going to be before we mention either Daredevil or The Punisher, and not Civil War related?
Well, we managed less than a minute before we mentioned it. You've beaten my Disney Infinity record.
I know, yeah. Okay, right. Civil War is going to be out next year. May, I believe, isn't it, Callum?
It is May. It's not too far away, really, when you think about it. It's like
it's literally a year, yeah. So there's going to be much excitement, much hype for that. What we're going to do, though, is something we mentioned on a previous podcast, as well as the Ultron video. We're just going to have a bit of a discussion about what we'd like to see, what angles we think they're going to come from when they're actually filming it, because obviously there's quite big elements of the story arc that they're not going to be able to do. So, how are they going to fill in that gap, or how are they going to replace it?
My first question is more of a pondering, if you will.
Okay.
Obviously, in the comics, Spider-Man is one of the first heroes to reveal his secret identity. I don't think they're going to do that in the film because it's a new Spider-Man.
Well, the thing is, I don't think it would be as much of an impact as it was in the comic, because although obviously we knew it was Spider-Man, I don't know actually, because
Joe Public is on the perception that this is the first time Spider-Man is going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the Avengers.
Yeah,
it's not going to have as much of an impact as, say, I don't know, if nobody knew who Iron Man was and he revealed himself in the film. We followed him from Iron Man 1 up to this film, and then he revealed himself. This is Spider-Man's first film with these people, and he's like, I'm Peter Parker. So you got no feeling there.
No, and that's obviously on the assumption that it will be Peter Parker.
I think it will be.
I think to keep the shit munchers on side, it's got to be Peter Parker, because they're like, who else is Spider-Man?
Well, they're not starting with an origin story, which means he's already established as Spider-Man, which makes no sense because there's been no reference up to this point that it's in like the same city as the Avengers. Yeah, he's nowhere to be seen at all.
They could literally just put it in the intro, just something about Spider-Man on the news.
Yeah, Spider-Man's returned.
Yeah, from his home planet of Spytron. Yeah. But the thing is, like, the reason why that was such a hard-hitting moment, why it was such a big moment and a critical moment for the story, is because no one knew, who all these people were.
Yeah.
But in the Avengers and in all the sort of MCU films so far, everyone knows who everyone is.
Yeah.
Thor is just Thor. He's just a guy from another planet. Tony Stark comes out and says, I'm Tony Stark, I'm Iron Man.
Yeah.
In the first Iron Man film.
Yeah.
Black Widow and Hawkeye, no one really cares about, I mean...
Well, for starters, Widow's like an assassin, so she's not going to reveal herself regardless.
Well, for, maybe future employment. But, I mean, they're not wearing a mask, they're not covered up.
Yeah.
And then if Bruce Banner came out and said he's the Hulk, he's probably the only one who would say, I'm the Hulk, and people go, well, we don't care about you. Show the Hulk. Get the Hulk out, come on.
Even that, though, I don't think he'd do it anyway, because they'd hunt him down and that would just make him turn into the Hulk, which is what he doesn't want to do.
Yeah, like if these films have proved anything, it's the fact that Bruce Banner absolutely hates the Hulk.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to be a part of him. He accepts him, but he just doesn't want him.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that people don't know who these heroes are. That's why they want this this act to be passed.
Yeah.
Is so that people know who these heroes are. They're accountable for their actions. But because everyone really knows, or they could just you see a picture of Black Widow.
Cap's got a fucking museum.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone knows who they are. So if he comes out and goes, "I'm Spider-Man," people go, "That's great."
Where have you been for the last 3 films?
Yeah, remember New York when the whole thing was blown up? Where was that? Where were you then, prick? He was teaching, probably.
Yeah. But it's... The other thing is that Disney haven't got rights to mutants in the films. So there's going to be no Mutant Registration Act. And so far we've only had the wave of heroes and villains that we've seen up to this point. and there's hundreds and thousands of them in the comics.
Yeah.
Some of them go Cap side, some of them go Iron Man side.
That could possibly be why they've, they sort of bumped up the numbers in Ultron, I guess, just sort of get people ready for there are going to be this many people on screen doing things at the same time.
Maybe, yeah.
Get used to it. It's not just going to be about one hero anymore.
But
we've gone past that.
You've got the likes of like Dr. Octopus and Venom, Rhino, a lot of Spider-Man villains, a lot of Fantastic Four villains, a lot of X-Men villains. Yet we've only got Ultron and Loki to go off, and maybe Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So there's no other villains up to yet that can actually join forces with the good guys, depending on the sides that they choose to believe in. And there's no other heroes. So it's literally going to be half the Avengers against each other.
Well, I think they'll just have the Avengers and the new Avenger team that they put together at the end of Ultron. But I think that what they should say is, here's all the people you do know, they're going to be the main focus. And then, here's all these other people. If you don't know who they are, go and read a book.
Yeah.
That's what they should do, and just say, we're just going to ignore the fact that you don't know who these people are, and, maybe if you've got some intelligence about you, you'll do a bit of research. Or maybe, after you've seen it, you'll go, I wonder who that guy was.
Yeah.
I'll go and read up on that. Or, none of this made any sense to me. I'm going to go and do some reading.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, as soon as there's a thought in a director or film producers like studio mind, that people will go, what was all that about? They think,
I'm not going to do it.
We can't get money off that. If people don't understand what's going on, they need it force fed down their fucking throats.
I don't want to be. I mean, we've said already how long we're going to be, but this is actually in reference. My friend's been watching Daredevil.
Yeah.
And he's got really into it. He doesn't read comics, he doesn't read anything. But he's got that into it. He's been reading up on all the characters and stuff.
That's perfect. That's exactly what people should be doing.
Yeah. And that, like you said, that's a good example of what they should do, is just go,
yeah.
You know what? To be fair, I mean, they're kind of doing it already by bringing in a lot of unknown heroes and stuff. So it's a route they could possibly go down. But like you said, there's going to be a bigger percentage of the mind where it says they're not going to understand this. Let's spoon feed them this information gradually.
Yeah.
But they haven't got time to do that. They need to, because I think they should bring Black Panther into it, if I'm honest. He's got a film coming out anyway.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a setup for him, isn't it? He's going to be there, and then it's going to be, this is who this guy is. Yeah. Backstory.
Even Ant-Man.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd like to see. I think they could just be getting some of these in just to, sort of shoehorn in other people into the story. I mean, Hank Pym. Oh God, spoiler. Hank Pym does get killed.
But they could still do it because it's not Hank Pym in Ant-Man, is it?
They could do. So you could have Scott Lang, can't remember what his name is, as the current Ant-Man, and then Hank Pym back in as Goliath, and then Cyber Thor kills Hank Pym. And that would be a huge plot story, plot point. Sorry. But it doesn't necessarily need to be all of the superheroes, all of the world's supervillains against each other. It could just be the government or the people versus the people who say, well, no, I like my job as it is, thanks very much.
Yeah.
I don't need to be accounted, and I don't need to have a paycheck from the government. I don't want to be a SHIELD agent. So you could have the people who, like obviously Tony Stark, saying, I think we should do, actually, that's probably a better way of doing what we do, being more efficient, blah blah blah. And then you'd have a few people, Black Widow or whoever, join him and say, well, I already work for the government, so it hasn't done me any harm.
Yeah.
And then the other people against, Captain America and everybody else would eventually be just SHIELD agents, or, just the people don't like. It's like the whole mutant thing from X-Men. Obviously, can't be referred to in this, but...
Yeah. Well, they're called miracles in the MCU.
Yeah, but there's, huge riots about, we don't like mutants, we want to know who mutants are. In that kind of, name and shame kind of thing, who's a mutant in your area, that kind of thing.
It's like Grindr for mutants.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So they could do it like that and just have them facing off against, heroes versus normal people, saying, you're just blowing cities up every time something... we're all forgetting the fact that if you hadn't stepped in, everyone would
Yeah,
be dead.
a couple of buildings have come down. Let's look at the plus points. There's been no casualties.
Yeah, or next to none at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Tony Stark has been in magazines and on the internet for years and years, and he's obviously revels in the fact that he's Iron Man. He doesn't hide away from it.
No.
So it'd be a lot easier to find him in a street and just be like, you need to stop what you're doing. People have been killed, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
That's your fault. If it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be them. Blah 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 blah. But as to how they could adapt that to such an epic thing to turn people against each other, it needs to be more than that. And like the thing that in Civil War that kind of turns it for Tony Stark is that kid getting killed.
Yeah.
So if you had something as powerful as that would maybe kick him into, you can't just do this willy-nilly and freelance all the time. You've got to, there needs to be a rules and regulations. There needs to be a stricter policy when it comes to people going out and basically breaking the law of the land. I mean, although, sorry, go on.
No, I think they're going to do it. Personally, is just watching from Iron Man 1 to 3 to the Avengers to Ultron. He's going more down the route of, we need to find a way for us not to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be kind of where he's aiming to go, in the sense that if we can get a government body to basically operate, obviously we'll do the work, and then at some point, like he's tried to do with the Iron program, have just robots doing it for them.
Or they'd set up like a hero training program, like a hero academy kind of thing, and people who've got these abilities, or people basically exactly like the X-Men. They'd sort of announce themselves to the law or this agency or whatever and say, I can move things with my mind. I haven't got much control over it, and they'll say, right, we'll take you in, we'll teach you how to control it, we'll give you qualifications and blah blah blah. Basically, like a BTEC national in psychic powers. But the X Academy is a perfect example of that. But that's just to sort of say you're just a normal person. Other schools and things
it's
might
hiding
not
in plain
take
sight,
you.
though, isn't it? It's just like the Xavier School Institute for the gifted
Youngsters.
It just seems to be a school. Just
exactly.
there in the open. Anyone can go there.
Well, not anyone, but
no. Well, obviously you can't just go there to get a fucking degree in basketball. But mutants, whether they're good or bad, Xavier will take them in on the hope that he can help them find their path or whatever.
Yeah, but this would be more of a sort of like a police force kind of thing.
Yeah, more like a military based.
Yeah, so it's just like, I've got these abilities, I want to help people, I want to join up. Whereas people like Captain America would have to say to that, no, if you've got it, you should do it because you want to do it, not just because it pays well, or because that means you can go around and smash stuff up and no one cares. So it's a tricky one to do without the whole mutant registration thing being a part of it.
I think they're in a better position in a sense that it would pay better. On paper it sounds worse because this is a big event in Marvel Comics, the Civil War, but it'll pay better for them to have less characters. Because you don't want to sit for a 2-hour film where there's so much going on you can't take it in, and it's dialogue and stuff's not working. Whereas in the comics they can spread it over a certain amount of issues. They can focus more time to certain characters. Like Punisher's barely in it, but he's there at least. His presence is there. And you can't do that if they just have. When we spoke about it on the Ultron video, that it'd be cool if Punisher did just pop up, took someone out, like helping someone, and then fucked off. It's like, cool. He's there. I really think that'd be a good touch, but it'll depend on the character. If Spider-Man's in it, but he's only in it for like 3 scenes, everyone's gonna fucking hit the roof.
Well, that's the thing, though. Maybe it would be better to have in a huge array of people, but maybe they're not credited or they don't get lines. They're just there.
Days of Future Past. It was billed as like he was on the posters and stuff, and he had a lot of time, like press spotlight and stuff. And then you saw the film, and he was like 15 minutes max, if that.
Yeah. No, I don't even mean like to that degree. I mean, remember that DC Online trailer that came out, like the cinematic trailer that was launching the game? And in that, there was just like all these like heroes and villains just all fighting all over the place. You know, not everyone had a line, not everyone was the focus, it's just that they were there.
Oh, it was mainly Batman, Lex, and Superman, wasn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. But I mean, you know, there was Green Lantern and Black Adam and stuff. But they were all there, they were all doing stuff. And that's, you know, people could see that and go, oh shit, look, that's, you know. And it could just be that. You know, there could just be an enormous fight scene. And they could, you know, in the background, there could be, you know, Luke Cage and then Daredevil and, you know, all these sort of people. But they don't need to be the centre of focus. Yeah. That could still be the Avengers. Yeah. But when you look back at it and go, I know what's going on back there. And, you know, they can carry on doing, like, scenes from the comic without being the centre of focus.
Yeah.
That would work.
It'd be nice as well to watch it back and, like, pause it and be like...
Yeah, exactly.
Just trying to scope people out to see if they are in it and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I actually kind of hope they do that now, to be honest. That's quite... It'd be an interesting take on it, and like you say, they can do the comic justice without ruining the film.
Exactly. So for the people who don't know... Yeah, well, for the people who don't know what's going on, they've just got, you know, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. just shouting at each other. Yeah. But, you know, in the background, you know, there could be Goliath fighting whoever. And, you know, it would be more than just what the camera is looking at. It would be, you know, what's actually going on in the entire shot.
Yeah. Even if it's just fucking... I can't think of a character off the top of my head for who could do it, but, like, someone like just fucking gets thrown, like, say Cap and Iron Man are fighting, and then, like, just out of view somebody gets thrown across, so it goes from like one side to the other, and then somebody just swoops past, flying, and you just, like, as the camera's moving, you just see more and more different people fighting each other.
Yeah, kind of like a 300 kind of shot.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Just panning along, and, you know, the Spider-Man sort of zipping about, fighting Venom. And, you know, but I mean, all these things are so quick. You just be like, oh my god, was that? Oh shit, there's the... Now, I mean, that might get confusing if it's done incorrectly. If it's just too much going on in a static shot.
It needs to be more slightly blurred out, so you can definitely tell they're not the focus, and it's whoever's up front.
Yeah, I mean, that would need to be like a 20-minute scene of just all out fucking brawling. Yeah. But that's the thing, though. I'm still absolutely convinced that Civil War should have been 2 parts.
Yeah.
To get that story arc, it needs to be 2 parts.
We said that from the off.
Yeah, as soon as we heard about it, yeah.
I'd really like if, say, Cap was fighting someone, say Iron Man, and then he's like Iron Man shoots his shield out of his hands or something, and then Spider-Man's fighting someone, and then he uses his web to swing his shield, hit whoever he's fighting, and then send it back to Cap.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
Yeah, those just sort of like things where people are just interacting. It's like with the whole Avengers thing, you know, when, like, without, like, any warning to us at all, or, you know, any hint that they've practiced it at all, Tony Stark just turns and aims at Captain America.
Yeah.
And he just brings his shields up and just deflects his repulsors and just wipes out a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Like, that sort of thing. I love that. I love it when it's just like people just, you know, they're just so in tune with what's going on, and they're so good at what they're doing. You know, they've just got these, like, perfect reflexes.
But that's why that opening scene was so grand.
Yeah, yeah.
They like you said in the Ultron video, they were a team. It shows they've been doing this for a lot longer since the first
Definitely.
film.
So, like, every time that Hawkeye would use, like, a specific trick arrow or something like that, you know, that would fuck up, you don't need to see, you know, which ones he's got. You just need to see the end result.
Yeah.
You need to see them all working in perfect sync.
Yeah.
It goes to show as to how far they've come from the initial Avengers, where they sort of begrudgingly became a team.
Yeah.
And then it was like only right at the end, it's just like, right, Captain, call it. Like, what are we doing?
Well,
and now it's just, you don't need to see what's happened in between that point with them all working together, because you know how good they are.
Marvel, like you say with the Avengers, like, they were pushed together, they didn't want to do it. They were shit together, and then obviously towards the end they figured out they need to work as a team. Number by number type story. And then they did the same thing with Big Hero 6 when they got the suits and they go to take on Yuko. And they're all trying to do it because they're not working as a team. They keep banging into each other and stuff. And then at the end they figure out, we need to work together. And then they manage to do it because they work as a team.
It's classic team building stories, isn't it?
But Marvel seem to to capitalise on it and then exceed it. And then, like you say, because they did it in the Avengers, there's no need. They have no reason to go back to that now. And I hope the new Avengers, if they end up having more focus than the old Avengers, if that is the new Avenger team, they just go, you know what? They know they're going to be training, so let's not have them. Let's not basically do the first film again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can have a few shots of them, just beating the shit out of each other in a training room or whatever. But after that, it could just be Captain America walking in and just saying, "Team, got a mission," and they just get right, and that's it. And they color coordinate their outfits and stuff, so they look like more of a team rather than just this is what they're thrown on in the morning. In that kind of Guardians of the Galaxy way, they all turn up at the end as a team, all wearing the same coloured outfits. That makes sense. That just shows, you don't need to say anything, it just shows that they are working together.
Yeah.
But who would you most like to see appear in it?
If I'm totally honest, I want to see the Iron Spider suit.
I was going to say that. Good call.
And I think there's a good chance we will, because that's one of the only things that hasn't been done really in the films. And considering it's an already established Spider-Man, he knows what he's doing. Tony Stark obviously knows this, so it'd be a good way to bring something new to the table. But character-wise, I'd like to see Venom, but I don't think we will, because he's got his own film coming out if it still happens, as well as a Sinister Six film.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll see Venom, because I don't think we'll see Venom until after the next solo Spider-Man film. So I don't think he'll be in it. I'd like to see Ant-Man, maybe Goliath, and like we said, I think Goliath will be a good choice, and have him die.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see Cyber Thor.
See, that's one thing. It's just like, because you can clearly tell that Tony Stark is just like a mad scientist. That's what he calls himself.
Yeah.
He just builds these things. So, maybe if someone's just adapted his technology, or, someone uses that weird cradle thing to try and replicate him or something like that, I think it's a possibility. I just think it would be too confusing for people.
Yeah. Maybe Stark makes like a cyber Avengers team.
Maybe, yeah. Like a robotic version of themselves.
I'm sorry, I can just see it. He's got like basically an Iron Man. That's just him. Like Cyber Thor, Cyber Cat, Cyber Black Widow, and then Hawkeye just got a bow and arrow still.
No, I see it like, they're just like, shit, the Avengers are getting pretty battered. We need double Avengers. That's what we need. We need 2 more Avengers. And then he goes and like jumps in the back of a van, and he just does that thing from Bill and Ted, and he just builds robots out of like odds and ends. And he's just controlling them all with
arms and stuff.
Just controlling them with a little joystick in the back of a van.
But no, my biggest thing, I want Iron Spider. I want the Iron Spider suit. More than
definitely.
anything. I really want the little Punisher pop up. I think it'd be a nice nod to both the comics and the character himself, because if he can be in at least one film that's good, I think they'll be happy.
Well, definitely. But I mean, there's already the rumours going about that he was in Winter Soldier, because he obviously saves a couple of people, as well as Captain America.
It's just in a van, though.
Yeah, this is an apparent thing. It's just him driving a van, or it's at least hinted towards, because they said that he was definitely the same person in the same van, and he was definitely doing it on purpose. It's not like they just got the wrong stunt car or something, and they put it in the same shot twice or something. They did it purposefully, and they said he's got someone, with a very highly military trained background. That could be a Hydra agent, it could be a SHIELD agent, it could be anyone, but it was hinted towards that it was the Punisher. So for him to then come back and say, well, I've actually been protecting you guys for a long fucking time,
it'd be a really nice nod, and it'd be a nice, like, a join connecting the films together.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Not the Punisher from Cap 2 and Cap 3.
Yeah, of course.
But any particular character you'd like to see?
I'd like to see some baddies, definitely. Doctor Doom. I obviously like the X-Men baddies aren't going to be an issue.
Well,
same as the Spider-Man
Doom's not going to be in it. It's Fox.
Well, plus he's just popped up in the new Fantastic Four. But that's the thing. There's, I'm trying to think of any of the other villains who sort of either switched sides or just sort of said, nope, we're staying out of it. See you in a bit. But I'd like to see the I can't remember what they're called now. Like they're basically the team from the very start. The ones that are like filming themselves and like just basically kick the whole thing off because they.
Oh fucking hell! Yeah, it's like the reality TV show.
Yeah, and they're like going to take out these sort of like B-list baddies,
Yeah.
and they're just like, yeah, we can take them out, it's fine, and that sort of kicks the whole thing off because a bunch of people get killed in that. So I'd like to see that referenced, as maybe a good launch point for the whole film, and then they could just watch it on TV just later, just like, oh, I can't believe that people are trying to do this. We need to stop this. We need to nip it in the bud. We need to get it, regulated. Yeah. We need a governing body for this. And they're just like, no. They're just idiots. Not everyone does this. The people who do it, they're good at their job. Blah blah blah. But other than that, obviously the Punisher would be great. I'd like to see Daredevil brought in mainly for the fact that he's increased popularity now.
Yeah.
Again, maybe not in a forward role, but certainly in there somewhere, or at least it's hinted that he does exist in, because obviously they've got no issue with putting the Avengers into Daredevil. Yeah, exactly. So there's no reason why they can't do it the other way around.
Yeah.
Or just have Matt Murdock in it, or something. That would be fine. Other than that, though, no, the Iron Spider, definitely. That's a brilliant scene. Yeah. Love to see him in that, because then that straight away would just establish him as a way more experienced and established Spider-Man.
Yeah. The fight scenes could be really good.
Definitely. But I'd like to see some more street level people. Luke Cage.
It's possible.
I think
he's getting his own series. So
yeah, Stone, Steel. What's
Sticks.
It called? Yeah. No, not Sticks. Sorry. What was I thinking of? I don't know. Maybe like Blade or something. Just fuck it. Just throw Blade in there. Why not?
I can't see Blade making an appearance.
Blade, Ghost Rider. Get them all in there.
Everyone who's had a shit film.
Yeah, just come on. Come on, guys, we can build you back up again. I would absolutely love it if there was a big Civil War battle going on, and then Ghost Rider just climbs out of the ground on his motorbike.
Yeah.
Just and just starts whipping people. And you're just like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, everyone stops, just like, what?
And then
who's he?
Everyone's dead happy until they see the credits and Nicolas Cage is in there. You're like, no! God damn it.
Yeah, maybe not Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider, but certainly Ghost Rider, definitely, yeah. Because that was still a Marvel film, and Punisher Warzone was Marvel Knights, so no reason why they couldn't.
It's always doable. Anyway, we're going to leave it there, Dan.
Yes.
I think we made some good points. I think we touched on some nice subjects.
Yeah.
For us, at least.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't really care if it happens or not. That's my Civil War. That's what I want to happen.
You won't hear from us for a while. We're going to go and make Civil War.
I've certainly got some phone calls to make, yeah.
I was just thinking we'll just act out all the parts.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I'll bring the Hulk suit then.
I've got some Meccano. We can make some Iron Spider suits. And
sounds good.
Yeah. Right. Bye.
Bye.